Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MR Basketball. It's Mariam Zainalabedini, your host of the program of Unofficial Talk with Officials. Tonight, we're going to have an amazing night together, and I'm sure that we're going to talk about a lot of things. So, before introducing our special guest, and I know you already know her, I want to point out to please don't you forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and Facebook channel and follow our Instagram page and enjoy our jaw-dropping videos. So let's go to our special guest, FIBA 3x3 and 5-on-5 referee, Cecilia Toth. Welcome, Cecilia, to our program, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Cecilia, we know that you used to be a player, a professional basketball player. And I want to, at first, talk about your career as a player. So, can you tell us about that time that you used to play
So
and when
first,
exactly you started playing?
it was an elementary school, and it was a sports faculty school. School. So I needed to choose something. What is a team sport? Because I was a dancer back then. I was doing hip hop dance and jazz ballet, and you can imagine. So they didn't accept that as a sport. So I needed to choose something. And in the school, the guys played handball, football, and basketball. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot for basketball. And that was when I 8 years old. So I started playing basketball in elementary school when I was eight. And when I was 16, I turned 16. I had the chance to try out myself for the first division team in my hometown, Szeged. And they accepted me. So I made it to the first team, first division team. We already played in Eurocup in that season. So it was a professional team. I also got a contract. So from now on, that meant two practices a day and also school. And when I turned 20, I needed to have a knee surgery. And after that, I moved to Budapest for 1 year, also for first division, just to get back on track. But meanwhile, I was in Budapest. The home team, my team, Szeged, they fell out of first division. We played also in EuroLeague. So they called me back to come back and try to, climb back on the ladder to go back to the first division. So we started again from the second division, and we never made it actually. We won the championship, but unfortunately, the city didn't have enough money to pay for the first division fees. So we stayed in second. From 21 until I turned 28, I think, or something like that. Yeah, 28. I played in second division, but I was the captain of the team. They were my girls. We were friends. So yeah, we had a quite nice tournament, even one in China. We spent there 10 days, met a lot of people there. They were crazy about us because they don't really meet, European people who are like super tall and also like women and they are playing basketball. So that was my very last tournament as a player because I got my license. I started my officiating career in 2015, and the federation told me that I need to decide between basketball career or officiating career. And if I was already at the end of my career, I was close to that. So I was thinking about what to do. Like I want to stay close to basketball, but coaching is not my thing. Even though I tried in 3x3 with the national team, but coaching is not my thing. So I was like, okay, let's try officiating, and I immediately fell in love with it.
Thank you, because you actually answered about regarding like three questions actually.
I'm sorry, I talk a lot. If it's
Yeah,
too much, you gotta stop me.
we just go past. Yes, exactly. I just wanted to know when exactly you started officiating. That you said yes in
Yeah, it was in
2015.
2015. So actually, 3 years I was a referee and I was a player at the same time. So it was a totally normal expectation from the federation that okay, this is not okay. You are playing and your colleagues are officiating for you, and next week I'm officiating with them. So it was not normal. So they told me like I got to choose. and it was an obvious decision that I'm choosing refereeing.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you, was it actually your predetermined goal to be a referee or officiating? So,
Whatever you believe
yeah.
it or not, it was never. But when I
Uh,
got the license and I tried, obviously I started with U12 or U11 games with
mm,
really small kids. And after a few games, I had a chance to officiate under 14 or maybe even under 19. So I fell in love with it. I finally felt like, this is the place where you should be all the time, where you were born, where this is your natural habitat. Like you really immediately I knew it. And of course the feedbacks helped me a lot because most of the players, the parents, because okay, I could in the U12, obviously there are the parents. So the parents and even the coaches, they knew me before as a player. So my acceptance was pretty high because of it. And they welcomed me with warm heart. So those positive feedbacks immediately gave me a push to not to stop.
so I think, I know my answer, but it's, I just want to make sure that which one of these games are really exciting for you, 3-3 or 5-on-5?
Well, both of them has their beauties. I cannot say like only 5-on-5 or only 3x3, because both gave me a lot, and I still hope that both of the sports can have surprises me in the future. Both of them has their beauties. Without 5-on-5, I wouldn't be a 3x3 referee for sure, because you need a regular basketball knowledge to be able to officiate 3x3. So I will always be thankful for 5-on-5. And 3x3 has a special place in my heart because I represented my country in multiple events, 3 World Cups actually. And when I was young, I never made it to the national team in 5-on-5, but in 3x3 I did. And I played 3 World Cups, so that means the world to me, and I will always be proud of it. So
Exactly,
both of
like
them,
family.
they are my love, so I cannot choose.
So how about officiating? Everyone knows you as a FIBA 3-3 referee. So how about them? I mean, which one is more really exciting for you, officiating 3-3 or 5-on-5? As
Well, both has its challenges, to be honest. And I hope that not everybody knows me as 3x3 referee. I hope they know me as a basketball referee because actually 3x3 is also basketball. So I would like to stay that person who is a basketball referee. Um, Actually, 3x3 helped me a lot in 5-on-5 because in 3x3 you are facing with huge guys who are all the time talking with the music, with everything. It's so fast, super fast, like every direction, like changing. You have to focus all the time. So that sport helped me a lot in 5-on-5. Um, but as I mentioned before, 5-on-5 also made me to be a 3x3 referee. So I think like it's working pretty well with each other. So I like both of it.
Right. So what kind of 3-3 rules are more challenging for you to officiate?
Uh, I can tell you, like, one of the hardest rule is the ball clearing situations. Since this is a super fast sport, you cannot really see all the time if the player is lifting the foot or releasing the ball in hand before lifted the foot. So this is one of the trickiest, to be honest. And obviously the contacts. We all know like 3x3 is a little bit more physical than 5-on-5. So the selection of the calls, it's essential because if you call an easy foul, a mosquito foul, how we call it on 5-on-5, the players will go crazy. And yeah, the fouls and the ball clearing situations, those are the trickiest ones for me. But obviously we have IRS in a top tournaments, so the players can ask for a challenge if they want to, but we rather not to go there because we are killing the game, the vibe of it, the fastness, so the quickness. So we try not to, like try to avoid those situations. But still, like I think this too is the most challenging.
You said top tournaments.
Yeah.
So which I want you to know. I actually want to know which competition you like more. I mean, women's series or World Tour.
Okay, so women's series is. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm dropping my things. So in women's series,
No, it's okay.
it's very nice to see those faces who I played against.
Mhm.
So I can tell, like, okay, not friends, but still we are not those type of enemies how they usually feel about the referee. So women's series is a really great atmosphere because of it, and I'm really happy to see that also FIBA is putting a lot of effort to develop women basketball, because we need it. Of course, it's not the same, but I hope someday we will be at the same level as the men's tournament, the World Tour, because the biggest, I can say the biggest difference in between the men's and the women's tournament, that in women's tournaments we still have 5-on-5 players. But in the men's tournament, they are already focusing on 3x3, so they rather play in second or third division in their home country to be able to have top 3x3 players. So I hope women players are also going to that direction and they are committing to themselves for 3x3 because that will help them to have better players for sure. But yeah, I can say the men's tournaments are challenging, especially because we are women on the court and it's always different. It's always a big thing
Exactly.
with those 2 meters guys. And they are shouting at you and how you cope with it, how you deal with it.
As we know, you're really powerful and a great referee, and you can always handle it.
Well, I would
Every-
say always, but I can tell like I'm on the road, so they not surprised when they see me anymore because I can tell you in 2018 when I got the license, it was in Lipik in Croatia. It was a
Mhm.
challenger, so that was the FIBA licensing camp for us in 3x3. And when I walked into the dining area, all the players were having lunch, only guys, and I walked in and they looked at me. I was like, what are you doing here? Are we gonna have like a women tournament? Also, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. This time I'm the enemy. I joined to the dark side, and they were like, no, we cannot believe it. How is this possible? And I was like, easy. It's gonna be better for you because I already know you. You know me. So, but yeah, it was funny. They were really shocked at the beginning. Like, what am I doing here? Like, I was on the other side, and now, with the whistle in the mouth, you are always an enemy.
Great. So, what is your own goal in 3x3 officiating?
Mm, my goal. Thank God that I reached to a level where I am right now. And from now on, I think my goal is, or my duty is, to pass on all the knowledge and all the experience I have and help for the future referees, not just in my home country, but all around the world, and even to develop 3x3 itself. I'm willing to help the players if they come to us after the game and trying to clarify a rule or maybe a contact just to talk about it, like how can they be better. Of course, I'm not coaching them, but I'm willing to share how I see things and how we judge in in specific moments as referees something. So these are my goals now because officiating at the Olympics, officiating World Tour finals, these are the moments and memories what I will never forget. Even now I am talking about it, I'm getting emotional. I have tears in my eyes because these things. This is why we start to officiate to have those kind of moments in life. So obviously, I really would love to officiate one day the men's final at the Olympics, or maybe part of the World Tour final in Jeddah. Because this year we're gonna have it in Jeddah. I don't know about next year, but we have it in Jeddah this time. So the final of World Tour, like these two things are still missing. I hope one day I will have a chance. It's not easy because we have excellent referees around the world. So it's not a competition, but somehow it is. But I feel like I need to pass on the experience and the knowledge now I have. So I would like to help for the future referees to have those kind of moments what I already had in my life.
Great. It's really kind of you. I just wanted to ask you about Jeddah. You
Yeah,
already said that. Answered. Okay. I just wanted to know your prediction or feeling or idea about Jeddah. I think after Mexico, you're gonna go to Jeddah, aren't you?
Okay, so first of all, we don't know the nominations yet. It's not out. What you have to know about Jeddah, it's quite strict because of the political views and the religion. So all I know, it's quite hard to have a female, not just a referee, but anybody female from on FIBA side to get there. But we will see. We don't know yet. If not Jeddah, then hopefully next season, wherever the World Tour final will be, I will have a chance to go there. Obviously, this is one of my goals, but we don't know. It's I don't I try not to think about it. I like to live in the moment and seize the moment, because if you're focusing on something in the future, it takes away your focus from the present, what where you are already in,
Exactly.
what you need to focus on. Like, actually, because tomorrow I have a game, I cannot focus on like what's gonna happen in middle of December. So I would rather stay in the moment, and if the opportunity comes, then I'll try to take it and give my best.
Great. So let's get back to Mexico. Could
Okay.
you tell us about Mexico and the Mexico World Tour and officiating with Yasmin Ayuras?
Oh yeah.
I really like to know your experiences.
Okay, so Mexico, when I saw the World Tour stops at the beginning of the season, Mexico was one of my goals. So thank God, I made it there. It was a really, really long road to get there. Now I know how I feel the referees and the staff from FIBA who is flying from America to Europe to be able to be at one of the tournaments. So it was still a bubble concept, as it usually is nowadays. We worked in a mall, and also the hotel was in a mall. So we didn't see anything from Mexico, but this is our life now.
Mhm.
The tournament was this was the last stop before the final. So that meant, I think, 5 or 6 teams could have qualified from Mexico, but not exactly from Mexico. So there were teams who were sitting at home and watching in front of the TV, like, okay, what's going on? If this team goes out, then we're gonna go to the Jeddah. We're gonna go to Jeddah. So it was like
Really?
totally
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
So we felt
Mhm.
that pressure. We knew like what we would do is super important, and we are deciding. I can say that, deciding who is going there. So we felt the responsibility, and we four of us, we decided we have to do the best job ever. No other option. And I think four of us and the sports supervisor, we had an amazing chemistry. So how we work together, it has never been before, to be honest. So I am super happy about it. And as you probably know, first time ever in the World Tour Finals history, 2 women referees were on the court. So it was Yasmina and me. Um, it's it's such a heartwarming thing for me, because when I started to officiate, Nina was my role model. So she was the number one referee for me. I was always looking at her on TV, trying to follow her on Instagram or where she's going, get
Well,
tricks from her, whatever she has. And when the first time I met her, I was like, oh my gosh, like she really is here, like standing in front of me and we are talking about personal things. So that was amazing. And since then, I can say we are friends now, and this is such an amazing feeling. But really, with her being on the court, with my friend, with my role model, that is amazing.
I just wanted to ask you about your role model,
Yeah,
and you already
yeah.
answered again. Thank you.
It was her, but
Okay.
to be honest, I have one role model, but I would rather say he is my mentor here in Hungary. He's Peter Puck. When I started to officiate, he somehow he found out about me. Actually, it was when we first talked. It was a 3x3 tournament in Szolnok. He was there as a referee, and I was there as a coach for the under 23 women's team. And he came to me, and we started to talk. And I told him like, okay, I'm also a referee. And he asked me like, okay, what is your goal? Like, what do you want to do? And I told him like, okay, Peter, to be honest, I'm not that young anymore. So if I'm not stepping forward, from one year to another, that there is no reason for me to continue this, because I was already, 20, 28 or 29, 29. I was there. And and I told him this, and he was like, okay, then we should start to work together. And I was like, well, yeah, of course, I'm open for it. And we had all the Skype calls in the world, because he's living in Budapest and I'm living in Szeged. And we had all the Skype calls in the world. We were analyzing my games, his games, clips. We were going through things, and like he was really, he's still, but back that time he was a crazy mentor for me, who was all the time with me, and trying to help me to be a better referee. So I will never forget what he has done to me. And right now, I would like to say thank you for him, because without him, I would be nowhere. So thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. I wish you watch this video.
He will for sure.
Okay,
He will.
thank God. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Olympics,
Okay.
which is actually the main goal of the 3x3, FIBA 3x3, to bring players from street to
The
Olympics.
Olympics.
So, yes, I just want to know about your experience in Tokyo and officiating in Olympics. Wow, it's a big,
It
huge blast.
was. It
uh,
was. So, as you probably know, but that was the very first Olympic, with the bubble concept. In 2020, at the beginning of 2020, when we got the nomination, um, I still remember. So the first thing was, I got the Olympic qualifying tournament in India. I was at my home. I was about to go for a training, and I opened my email, and I saw the nomination. And first I sat down, and then I was starting to screaming and walking back and forth in the flat, and my dog was looking at me like this, like, are you crazy? What's going on with you? So I was walking back and forth, screaming, and then smiling, and then jumping, like a 6-year-old kid. Like I was totally crazy. And when I got the nomination, for the Olympics, it was at the halftime. It was totally unprofessional movement. So never, nobody do this, please, never. So that was the very first game without spectators. The COVID already started, and at the halftime, I opened my emails, and I saw the nomination for the Olympics, and I was sitting, and my colleagues were looking at me. Are you all right? What happened? Shit, guys, I got nominated for the Olympics. And they were like, yay, it's so cool. And I was like, yeah, but we have like one more half of the game. So we have like 20 more minutes to focus on. So I cannot be in this moment right now. So yeah, this is how I got the news. But to be honest, I wasn't as happy when I got the Olympic qualifying tournament, because we already heard some rumors that maybe the Olympics will be canceled, and yeah, it had happened, as we all knew. But at the beginning of 2021, I got the nomination again. Uh, at that time, I called again Peter, who I mentioned, and his wife, and I was again screaming crazily in the car. So we all together we were screaming and super happy about it. But yeah, so actually about the Olympics. Before the Olympics, we had like, I can say, like a two months preparation, maybe even more, like three, with the referees and the standby referees. Every 2 weeks we had a webinar where we analyzed clips and talked about how we're going to manage situations at the Olympics. It was obviously more of a mental preparation, because we knew like we have to be alone in the room, separated from each other, not like usually we are having like lunch and dinner together, nothing like that. So we were already preparing ourselves, what we can expect there. And we also had 6 weeks. I don't even remember anymore. Maybe even more, training program coming straight from FIBA. We had to follow a protocol, like how we train, what we do, how many running sessions we have, how many weightlifting. So we were really, really getting ready for the Olympics. So it wasn't just like, okay, I got the nomination, I will travel. No, we were preparing for it.
Okay.
So the Olympic itself, as we knew, all of us were in separate rooms. Every morning started with a PCR test, with a saliva test. So not like we how we do it in Europe with the nose. So it was a saliva test. Um, Usually we had breakfast together, but we were sitting in different tables with a plastic in front of us. So it
Wow.
wasn't normal, what we get used to be honest. And I had luck because all the time I had the morning sessions. So we had 4 sessions throughout the day. The first 2 sessions was for his 6 referees, and the other 2 sessions was the other 6 referees because 12 referees were there. So I always had the morning sessions, thank God, because that meant like after breakfast we went back to the room, got dressed, and immediately went to the court. Um, so we were there for I don't know how many hours, pretty much. Usually we started around 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning, and we arrived back to the hotel at 5 p.m. So even at the tournament, we had our own locker rooms. We needed to watch out where we are spending how much time, because there was an app, and throughout the app they were tracking our movements, and they were checking where we are going, or if we are spending more than 15 minutes next to a person who turned out to be positive. Even though we had a negative test, that meant if a person I'm spending more than 15 minutes with turns positive, I also needed to go to isolation for 14 days. So it was really like, it was an important thing to not to turn out to be positive or being around the person, because actually we were risking the whole Olympic tournament, because 100% 6 of the referees is out, and we couldn't let that to happen. So we were pretty cautious about it. Um, so yeah, that was the life in the bubble, if I can say. We were not allowed to leave the hotel, not even the tournament itself. So we were only always in one place. So it was challenging mentally. But then we reached the final day, um, where we only knew at the beginning like who is going to officiate the quarterfinals. It's always like this in tournaments. I was already. I felt like it's already like a blast. Like I can officiate the quarterfinal at the Olympics. Like this is huge. This is amazing. And then we went on. I got a semifinal game, and I was like, oh gosh, this is crazy. Semifinal at the Olympics, and then we came all together. All the 12 referees were there at that time, and Nico told us who is going to officiate the final and the bronze medal game. And obviously, he started with the bronze medal games, and he ended up okay. I was like, no bronze medal, it's okay, no problem. And then he was like, okay, and for a women's final, and he said my name, and all the work, what was behind it, all the sacrifices I made, like not to be around my friends, my family, not having free time, focusing on officiating and on myself. All the pressure is just it just went out. So I started to cry crazily. And I remember Lena was sitting next to me, and she looked at me. Her eyes were also teary because she officiated the men's final. And she looked at me, and she was like, what's the problem? I was like, Lena, all the pressure, it just comes out right now, like what we had in the past 3 months. And she hugged me. We cried together, obviously because of the happiness, how we felt and what we felt at that time. So, and then when we stepped on the court, I blew my whistle. I blew my whistle for the toy toss, and then everything changed. I was in game mode, so I wasn't
Mhm.
even thinking about anymore. Like I am at the Olympics final right now. Oh, I remember I told to the girls when they came for the toy toss. Sorry, I'm crying because I'm talking about it. So I remember
Yeah,
the girls when they
I
came
get
for the
it.
toy toss and we did the fist bump. I told them like, okay, we are writing history now. And then we did the time course, and yeah, after that, for that 10 minutes what we had, I was not thinking about this is the Olympic final. But when we finished, me and Edmond, we hugged each other and we were like, okay, this is history. We started the Olympics. We had the first game together. We had the very first game of the 3x3 Olympic history, and now we are finishing with the final. I couldn't ask for more. So it was. Oh my god, I cannot even put into words how I feel still.
I think
Yeah,
it's actually a big dream for every referee, and you just get it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think in everybody who is working in sports, even for coaches, physios, players, referees, table officials, technical delegates, I can say everybody. So whoever it is and working with sports, their dream is to go to the Olympics, and I have it.
Yeah.
I have it. I was there.
Let's not make you cry again. So
Oh
depart
yeah.
from competition. Have you? I mean, how can we get 3x3 officiating license for B or C grade?
For FIBA,
I
you
mean,
mean?
grade C or yes, for
Okay.
FIBA or C grade. I mean, grade C or grade B.
Okay. So the route is to be a FIBA referee is first to officiate in your home country.
Mhm,
And back at that time when I got the license, and I assume that it's still the same process, that FIBA is letting know different federations like, okay, we are going to have a licensing camp, let's say in Szeged, and we want you to send one or two referees. And they not
mhm,
say they want to see female or male referees. They just say like they have one spot or how many spots, I don't know. And that's the federation's decision who they are going to sending to that clinic. So it's
mhm.
not like I can apply for a FIBA license. It's not working like this. This is the federation's decision who they send. And from C to B
So,
license, you can step up if FIBA is deciding to move you forward on the list. Obviously, they are checking all the tournaments. I can say they are even checking grassroots tournaments. So doesn't matter if it's a FIBA tournament or not. They are watching everybody, and there are their eyes on us at all times. So I I really want to everybody who wants to be a FIBA referee in 3x3 or even in 5-on-5. You never know who's watching you, so you always have to give your best. You always have to prove that there is a reason why you are there. So never forget. And nowadays in the internet world, there are no clips what you can hide or you can wipe the flush down the toilet. It's never gonna happen. So all the games are crucial games. If it's not for you, but for the players for sure. So you have to give your best. They are preparing for that game throughout the whole week or even the whole month. So you have to give your best in each and every one of the games.
I just wanted to ask you about a memorial competition that you told me about Olympics in details. That
Yeah.
was really great. So, can you please tell us about a memorial competition that makes not you cry?
Okay, so obviously one of them was the Olympic tournament, the Olympic Games itself. This Mexico World Tour final is also one of it. I like those historical moments. I never was like this, but somehow I feel like now I'm trying to collect them. Because in 2019, I was the first female official who officiated the Euro Cup men's final in Debrecen. So that was one of it. Also, and that in
In,
that year,
in 2019, right?
it was 2019. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And also in 2019, I had the chance to officiate a European Games men's final. That was also, again, a great historical moment for me. But I can say also in 5-on-5, if not writing history around the world, but writing history for Hungary for sure. This season, I had the chance to officiate the Super Cup final in Valencia. That was also a blast as the first Hungarian referee to reach that. This is amazing. And also next week, I'm officiating the very first Euro Cup men's game in the Hungarians basketball history. So I mean, as a female, because
The
obviously the guys have
success.
already done it, but a women official has never been there. So these things are pushing me forward and prove that all the sacrifices I'm making, it's worth it.
Yes, it's working. So, can you tell us what is your motto?
Wow.
Really inspiring.
Well, I have a lot, to be honest. I have a lot, but I believe in hard work pays off. This is one of them. Well, I don't have like the specific ones. I have a motivation app. What I usually just go
Really
through before a game or when I feel down and I need some motivation. But most of the motivational things I'm getting from my friends and from my family. So they are the ones who try to keep me on track if I'm a little bit feeling lost, and they all the time they are
God
there
bless
for me.
them.
So, and of course these memories, when I just retrospectively thinking back, they're like, okay, well, you cannot complain, everything will be fine, you will get through it, whatever it is.
Great. So, as a recommendation, what do you say to, uh, you know, every young referee, especially young ladies? What do
Oh,
you recommend?
my biggest recommendation is, if you can, then always try to stay close to connected to basketball. I mean, like on the field, because if you have a basketball background or 3x3 background, doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If you have a background of that sport, then you will be more accepted, and you will also have a wider range of knowledge of basketball itself, and you will also have the feeling how the players are feeling, because if you have that in you, you will never be so harsh and so hard on them, because you know how they feel on the court. This was my one of the biggest advantage in 3x3, that I knew how the players are feeling on the court, because 3x3 is a super tiring game, it's killing you. They have to warm up 3 or 4 times a day, they non-stop running, they also have to face with the weather challenges, so it's not easy. So if you know how they feel, then you will be more understandable towards them. My other recommendation is watch as many basketball as you can, because not just the game itself, but try to watch the referees, how they are working, how their court presence is, how they are talking and approaching to the coaches and the players, because you can always pick something what you can make it on your own. And there's not just watch basketball, but try to watch maybe handball or soccer, even NFL and NBA, how the officials are working there. That is super professional. So you can pick up some things. But I was saying, like, you can make it on your own, and never settle. Never settle. Don't say like, okay, this was my limit. Try to push yourself. You will never know what is your limit until you really reach to it. Like, I thought, like, I will end up officiating in Hungary and being super happy with it. Now I was at the Olympics. I'm officiating EuroLeague Women at Super Cup. So I never know that I will reach to that point, because I was pushing myself. And what is nowadays super important is the language. You gotta speak. You've got to speak proper English. This is ground zero. Without it, you cannot be a referee. If even in your home country, it's I think it is important to be able to talk with international players and coaches. So you have to know the language. And the other thing, what is also quite essential nowadays, to stay fit. You have to live a life as the athletes do. So try to eat as they do, try to sleep, and try to train as much as they do. Even I know everybody has a busy schedule, and with COVID, it's not that easy right now. But I can say you can find 30 minutes. once a day, or maybe in 2 days for yourself when you're working out. It's manageable. It will be hard, but trust me, it's worth it.
Yes, you're right. Because if you want to be updated, we really need to know English language, and without it, it's nothing.
Yeah,
And everything is around us, and we need to catch them by
exactly.
knowing English and exchanging our knowledge. This okay. So, do you have anything to add for last day?
Um, it was a pleasure to be with you and to share my crying moments, my memories, and the road I've been on. It is a pleasure. So thank you very much for having me. If the viewers will have any questions later on after watching this interview, you can directly send it to me, or they can reach out to me. I'm happy to answer or to help anybody. So don't hesitate to contact me. I'm available for everybody. I try to help. So whenever it is or whatever it is about, just hit me, send me a message. I'll get back to you as fast as I can.
Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia, for accepting our invitation, and it was a great honor for us. And thank you to our friends and followers who are watching this video. And I'm sure that you had a great night with us, and have a great night. Bye bye.